A Room Called Earth, a novel by Madeleine. Take two, because I'm so triggered by this book that my first review was unacceptable. Let's just read a few random excerpts, see what's in here. When I was in high school, girls on my year level told me that it was best not to eat in front of boys. Even if the plan was to go out for food together, it was preferable to opt for a smoothie or a milkshake or a juice or a coffee. How big is this? Like the whole block? I think so. I mean, yes. How big is the block? Come in. Oh my. Hmm. Okay, you live here with your parents? No, not really. Right. So where are your parents? At the beach house, or the villa in Spain, or they're dead. Technically, they're dead. Everything. I've always wanted her to get everything, to bring a plate, and she always refuses. She orders the whole salmons and scallops and crabs and makes all these epic salads and, of course, her famous guacamole. Once I was talking with my dad about astrology, and he was like, "Look, darling, I like to keep 2 feet on the ground." And I was like, "Yeah, well, the ground is on the Earth, which is a planet that's part of a galaxy, which is in a universe that's a tiny fraction of the cosmos," and he said nothing. The toilet door just flew open, and 3 girls came bumbling out, each grappling with various states of explosiveness in relation to one another. They are adorned in spangly black things like spiders, and I don't think they meant to dress identically. That just happened. How terrifying. She's criticizing him and making him feel small every now and then so that he believes that he has to work hard for her approval. Then he can fool himself into thinking that he's conquering her, and she can receive a perverse satisfaction out of undermining his capabilities and his manhood because it gives her a false sense of certainty about her own womanhood. I find that I have a much deeper appreciation for my fellow human beings when their mouths are shut. I want to be able to look at everyone on this planet in the fucking face, and if that means looking death in the fucking face, then so be it. There's a pool party happening out the back of this next place, which has a very high and very thick and very black and very modern fence around it. It's like a fortress. One time we were at a dinner party with his friends, and between courses he asked me to make some of the noises that I made during sex, and when I refused to do so, he imitated them, and everybody laughed. I've traveled on foot for a few blocks now, and there are dense vibrations radiating from an enormous terrace house. It's almighty, dilapidated, and gray. It looks like the Addams family home on Cemetery Lane. My driver tonight didn't ask me what music I wanted to listen to. He went straight to the classical music station before saying that he hates this country because the seasons never change. A while ago, I read somewhere that we're like mountains, and our day-to-day awareness is the front of who we are, where the sun shines, and everything we're afraid of is the back, in shadow, out of our awareness. I used to get ready to go out with other girls because that's what girls are supposed to do, and it's meant to be all grease without the bullying, except the bullying is always there. Connection with my own species has been difficult. I'm more at ease with the animal part of myself than the human part of myself. So, as you can see, the person who wrote this clearly thinks a lot. There are a lot of interesting descriptions of things, and it was easy to read, but very annoying to me. This book, I'm so butthurt because just envy of the lifestyle of the person in this book. Because and I don't want this to turn into my last video, where I just get so mad about this. But basically, it's like this young woman who was left this really huge estate in Australia, to live on, and as she can afford also to live there and to buy herself Christmas presents to fill all the empty rooms because she emptied out the whole house of all of her parents' stuff when they died. And she has a huge garden with all these plants and stuff, and she has the privacy to be able to go out naked in the rain, which I have been able to do in the past. Going out naked in the rain is like one of the best things ever, but in America, unless you have private property or you live in a clothing optional community, most people don't have access to that. And this individual character in this book just has this aspirational lifestyle, you know, where she has this ridiculous estate that she can afford to live on by herself, and to think all of her philosophies and to be fiercely authentic. It's really easy to be fiercely authentic when you have, an estate to live on where you can afford to live all by yourself, and where you get invited to go to parties where you can go pick up men, bring them back to your sprawling estate, and engage in lovely, intimate pleasure with them. There are a couple of sex scenes in this book. They're nicely done. Um, and then send them on their way because, bonus points. She's autistic. So I guess, she doesn't care enough to become the victim of, women's problems where you sleep with someone and then you get attached to them and then your heart breaks because you didn't make them marry you. But she has none of these problems. She has no problems whatsoever, except for like the occasional thought of guilt that her ancestors displaced the Aborigines. But she basically, like, I mean, she doesn't do anything about it. She's just like, oh, if that ever happened to me, I'd be horrified. On to the next thing. I think I'll wear a different shade of lipstick tomorrow. So yeah, it was an interesting read, but it's just irritating. But should we really be irritated by hearing about someone else who has something that we wish we had? Shouldn't we just be like, hey, we should all have this? We should all have a place where we can live and be authentic, instead of being like, well, since I don't have it, you can't have it, or I don't want to read about it. It's very depressing. So depressing. When you were here before, I couldn't look you in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather in a beautiful world. I wish I was special. She's so fucking special. But I'm a creep and I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't belong here. A Room Called Earth by Madeleine Ryan.